I have been thinking about how hard it seems for us to slow down, even when slowing down makes sense. This past few days I've been thinking about something. The winter has been unusually hard for my region. I live in the northern half of Germany, and usually we have very mild weather. In winter, that means usually around 5 degrees, very little snow, very little frost. But this year, the weather has been kind of crazy. First, we had the snowstorm Ellie hit us, which brought huge amounts of snow. Usually we get like a light cover, but you can still see the grass poking through. And it's usually gone after a few hours. But the snow that Ellie brought stayed for a few days. And then the last 3 days we had black ice, something I have never experienced in my life. Everything was just covered in a thick layer of ice. You couldn't walk. Every time you would stand on a slightly tilted surface, you would just slide down the hill. And I've seen cars trying to go up a hill and just sliding back down again. And as you can see, now we have snow again in an amount that is also not very typical for my region. So this winter has been really crazy for my part of the world. But what surprised me wasn't the weather, it was how determined everyone seemed to just continue as usual. The conditions were crazy, but people still went out, they still tried to do their normal routine. They were driving on the roads, they were walking. There were over 200 accidents in my region alone. There were people dying, people who had broken bones and all kinds of other hurtings. I feel like that's a really German thing to do. We Germans tend to have a mentality of we need to go on, no matter what. And especially this winter, I realized how uncomfortable that makes me feel. It just doesn't feel right to me. Because I've been sitting at home looking out at the crazy weather, and I've been thinking, oh, if the weather is this crazy, we should just stay at home. And there was a moment where that became really obvious to me. I'm in a swim group, so we meet up once a week to train. The last few weeks, 2 of those training days fell on the crazy weather days. One time was Snowstorm Ellie, and one time was the black ice. My instinct was to say, we are not going. The weather is crazy, let's just stay home and be safe. The day before, I already said, let's just not swim tomorrow. The weather report says it's gonna get even crazier. But the rest of my group just said, oh no, let's wait and see, maybe it's gonna get better. We can just decide tomorrow if we want to go or not. When Ellie hit, the roads were completely blocked, and yet everybody in my group said, let's go swimming anyway. And I was sitting at home thinking, am I the crazy one for saying we shouldn't go? It just made me feel really strange to be the only one saying, I don't want to go today because the roads are not safe and I don't feel comfortable possibly risking my life for swimming, even though swimming is one of my favorite things to do. And it just made me wonder why everybody else seemed so so determined to just keep on going with their routine. I know not everyone has the luxury to stay home, especially when it comes to work. I work in an office. I can work from home on a few days. So for me it was easy to say, I'm not going out, I'm staying home. And I know that's a very comfortable position to be in, and that a lot of people don't have this luxury. But it still felt like a lot of people just took on a risk that to me felt greater than it had to be. Maybe I'm just overly cautious, I don't know. It just made me wonder if I'm the crazy person, if I'm too cautious in saying I don't want to risk my life for this, when it's only a few days a year that are this dangerous anyway. Or if it's just this German mentality of we need to push through no matter what. I just have been turning this over in my head for the last few days, and it just made me want to talk about it because I'm trying to understand it. But apart from all that, I am still very happy that we have this much snow. If you have seen my second video on this channel, you know that I love snow, and that we don't usually get that much snow, which makes it even more precious to me when there is snow. So I'm just gonna enjoy the snow that is coming down right now. Thank you for sharing this quiet, reflective moment with me. I hope you can also enjoy some snow where you are, and be safe out there.